Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you to BACC, Bianca and Leticia for organizing this panel, and to AIC. We are partial of a large group of people that participated in this project, but happy to represent. So the Los Angeles County Civic Art Collection is comprised of over 600 contemporary and historic permanent public artworks located across county-owned property. These artworks are cultural assets belonged to and enjoyed by all county residents and visitors. In recent efforts to provide equitable resources through the Civic Art Division's commissions and programming, community engagement has been a focus goal. Artists are required to provide activities and feedback from community when fabricating a new artwork, ensuring that artwork is truly representative of the surrounding communities where it resides. The natural extension to this work is to continue the engagement throughout the lifetime of the artwork through artist activities, educational curriculum, and conservation projects. When the Conservation Apprenticeship project was developed, the desire was to cultivate an appreciation for conservation and preservation of artworks in the community, centered around the artworks in the collection. The program provides conservation experience for both emerging conservators and artists, and provides a paid opportunity to engage in the preservation and conservation of the artwork in their community, through which we hope is a far-reaching and equitable process. One of Civic Art Collection's most treasured artworks is Paul Bateo's Inner Resources mural, which is an integral part of City Terrace, a neighborhood in the community of East Los Angeles. The artist, Paul Bateo, is a Mexican-American artist and educator. He was born, raised, and resides in East LA. He is a younger brother of David Bateo, the founder of East Los Streetscapers, whom he assisted as a young artist. His works are symbolic narratives that examine both public and personal themes, from pertinent social issues to more intimate matters, particularly inspired by the Chicano community and experience. The Inner Resources mural was created in the year 2000 on the west-facing wall of a gym at City Terrace Park. The artwork is one of the largest murals in Los Angeles and focuses on the global family and life force of all things. Themes featured in the mural include education, nature, and culture of East Los Angeles area, surrounding the central figure Tonantzin, Mother Earth. In the summer of 2023, the Civic Art Division released a solicitation to our art conservator pre-qualified list and emphasized both conservation treatment and mentorship experience in the application and selection. A diverse group of conservators who specialize in painting and the artist Paul Bateo were on the selection panel. Amazing Kiernan Gray's the Site and Studio Conservation was selected to lead the project. In winter of the same year, the Civic Art Division released an open call for the apprenticeship project. The call solicited those interested or emerging in the conservation field and artists in their early stages of working in their art practice. We wanted to attract as many qualified candidates as possible, even if they had other commitments such as school or part-time or full-time employment. 80 applications were received and reviewed, most of which were highly qualified for the project. The applicants were mostly artists and about 20 emerging conservators. The responses from the applicants demonstrated that the community is already highly knowledgeable and committed to preservation, not only through technical skills like conservation, but narratively through public artworks themselves. The applicants understood that murals contributed to the beautification of the community, civic pride, and growth of the creative economy. They saw their roles as artists to create inspiration for their communities, to preserve and reflect values of their culture. For many, the knowledge of art came from the public artworks themselves because of limited access to museum and galleries, and learned more about historical moments and community figures from local murals than they did in school. The preservation of these murals is integral to maintaining their artistic contributions, as well as preserve the histories and stories that their visual imagery depicts. Applicants addressed the lack of investment of many public artworks in Los Angeles, citing how many were disappearing or were defeated by vandalism. They asked why no one was conserving these artworks, why they were being repainted over, and that for each artwork that is covered or lost, there is a loss of an opportunity to share the artist's messages to residents of the community. So the 4 apprentices here on the screen were selected by Kiernan Graves, Paul Bateo, and a diverse panel of conservation professionals who work in conservation equity programs. And because of the highly qualified application pool, the conservator hired 6 of the pre-program applicants as conservation technicians, allowing the 4 apprenticeship positions to be selected from the artist pool. Each of these 4 amazing selected apprentices grew up within walking distance from City Terrace Park. The project began the first week of April 2024 They gained extensive training on the following scope of work, as well as tips and strategies on how to navigate the conservation and public art fields. Paul Pateo, the artist, also worked on the mural in the larger areas of Los, providing an opportunity for the apprentices and technicians to compare skills required for both conservation compensation and artist restoration. So really quickly, the mural itself appeared to be in good condition. However, almost the entire surface exhibited severe deterioration. There are small areas of graffiti, bubbling of the paint layer, mechanical damage, losses of the paint layer, and losses in the wall. The artwork's outermost layer was a Nova Color varnish, which was deteriorated. Site and Studio Conservation found that due to the lack of UV protection, the deterioration of the varnish caused the coating to pull away from the paint layer underneath. And that was seen throughout the mural, which was flaking, and certain colors such as blues and greens appeared to be fading, but were actually the whitening or the opaqueness of the varnish layer. The treatment methodology to remove the outermost layer mechanically and chemically throughout the entire mural provided the apprentices and technicians extensive experience in building patience and hand skills and time to interact with each other. Now, Jenny will speak.
Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Payan. I'm a first-generation U.S.-born Chicana and an emerging artist. Today, I'm thrilled to share the importance of public art and its preservation seen through the lens of a remarkable project, the Inner Resources Mural Conservation Apprenticeship. This experience at City Terrace Park has been one of the most meaningful in my life. My journey as an artist began as a child growing up in East LA, a community rich in public art and murals. These vibrant murals sparked my passion for painting, drawing, and all forms of art making. As a kid, I used to go to City Terrace Park to play baseball. Whenever I went to the park, the mural always caught my attention. I'd find myself wondering about its message and meaning. As I got older, I came to realize that the mural is a representation of the stories and identities of my community. Participating in its preservation was incredibly fulfilling. Ensuring that the mural would exist to inspire future generations. For the community, Inner Resources is more than just art on a wall. It really embodies their culture, their struggles, and aspirations. In a place where access to galleries, museums, and arts programming is limited, public art plays a crucial role in uplifting the community. Murals are open-air classrooms where history, culture, and social issues are vividly presented for everyone to see. They create spaces for learning outside traditional institutions and remain accessible to all. During the apprenticeship, we had the privilege of going on an 8-hour tour in East LA with Paul Pateo. Walking through my neighborhood with a group of artists and emerging conservators was a transformative experience. For the first time, I understood these murals through the eyes of an artist who painted many of these, but also through a conservation lens. Visiting La Doliente de Hidalgo by muralist Willie Aron III, a mural I had passed countless times growing up, was particularly eye-opening. Seeing it in its deteriorating state was disappointing, as the loss of pigment was really prominent. This underscores the urgent need for restorations, so many future generations can experience these amazing works. We saw so many murals in the community that really need attention like this. And preserving public art sustain a visual language shared across generations. It fosters pride, belonging, and community. Murals often address social and political issues that directly affect community members. They serve as markers of cultural identity, affirming the community's presence in the broader societal landscape. This apprenticeship taught me the positive impact that public art has within the community of East Los Angeles. Through projects like the Inner Resources Mural Conservation Apprenticeship, we not only protect valuable public artworks, but also strengthen the cultural fabric of our communities. Overall, the need and desire for community to be involved in more projects like this is evident, as it allows the community to be the stewards of public art in their neighborhood. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bianca. Hopefully you can all see me. So, as Jenny mentioned, the importance of public art in our communities, what is most important is the effect it gives an individual working within their community, and the lasting effect of having community work on what's theirs. As an artist born and raised in East Los Angeles, who was chosen to be part of this unique and revolutionary conservation internship, I would like to share with you our experience and discuss what made this call so inviting and special, and what we learned as apprentices without any conservation experience or knowledge, and how it demystified project management. When I first saw the call, this is what I read in the middle section. Are you interested in art conservation? Hell yeah. Are you interested in preserving a mural in your community? Hell yeah. Do you want to learn preservation methods for your own art practice? Sure, why not? What does that even mean? I attended the Zoom informational meeting, and even after learning of the qualifications, my imposter syndrome still lied heavily within me. I have strong ties to my community, and I checked every box they were asking for. Yet something in me wanted to attend in person and scan the vibe. In other words, who were the folks applying to work on this mural who were not from my community? As many of you know or may not know, East Los Angeles, as well as other surrounding Los Angeles communities, are currently being affected by gentrification and changing our urban landscapes, which essentially means it continues to erase our people and our history. After speaking with Laleña, I felt much more comfortable that maybe I was the candidate they were looking for. How could I get rejected? I was born and raised right here. This is the park that I visited countless of times growing up. The compensation was decent for an internship. No resume was needed, just a letter of recommendation from anyone who knew you or your work, as well as a portfolio to share your artistic abilities. I highlight this because as someone in their 30s, many internships or residencies are offered to current or recently graduated students. Many also cap at the age of 25. But to hear that this project didn't require an age limit, it had flexible hours, and we had the ability to create our own schedules, made it seem like not only was this opportunity perfect for someone like me, but also that I had nothing to lose and everything to gain from this experience. So why was this project achievable for us apprentices, and what did we learn? It was achievable because of the clear communication, great leadership, and hands-on learning. The start of your shift consisted of a check-in and updates, sometimes one-on-one, but usually with everyone, so that we were all on the same page for safety as well as what we were trying to accomplish that day. This helped in setting clear intentions and goals. At the start of the project, us interns had a crash course on the scope of the project and what each stage of the conservation was to entail. We had tutorials and hands-on learning opportunities on each new task that was to be done. All of us had gone to pursue art and had been taught to document every stage of our work and process. We are encouraged to use any and all materials to help find our artistic voice, as well as to help convey our message. In ceramics specifically, it's highly emphasized to test our clay bodies, along with glazes, and to often create test tiles of our surface mixtures. But throughout art school, longevity of our work has never been asked or questioned, at least in my experience. We've been trained to create, document, and test our materials, and as art conservator apprentices, we were doing the same, but in reverse. More specifically, we learned about the importance of documentation, material research, consolidants, coatings, and reductions in 4 weeks. It was a lot. As well as testing materials in order to choose the correct treatment. There were set guidelines and understandings that this project would entail a lot of hands-on learnings. That guideline, I believe, set the precedent of what was to follow. Kiernan and Samantha from Site and Studio did a beautiful job with not only leading the team, but to lead us interns without any conservation experience up to pace. They shared with us the grind jumping from project to project, info on preparing for this project, as well as the orchestration of the scaffolding. Kiernan shared with the team the Google Drive for inner resources, which entailed a site calendar, health and safety guide, treatment and notes for testing materials, and so much more. So how does this demystify project management? Having great leaders who led by example and included us in every step of the process gave us the tools, experience, and knowledge to carry on for future projects, large or small. Ultimately, this structure and open gate to knowledge naturally became important and followed us into our art practice and future projects. Before the ending of the Inner Resources Conservation Project, I easily began to document and take photos of public artworks, primarily acrylic murals, that needed to be conserved. My eyes were trained to see deterioration and why the material was responding the way they were in the locations they sat in. Shortly after the Inner Resources, I quickly jumped into assisting, installing, and project managing a 18 by 24-foot mosaic mural in Filipino town, just on the outskirts of downtown LA. Very quickly, I realized how important it is to document, know your materials, ensure safety, have clear communications, and to be a great leader. Besides my ceramic and art knowledge I've gained throughout my life, everything I learned at Inner Resources through Kiernan and her team at Site and Studio helped me with the project management and to lead my mosaic team. As I've had time to reflect over the Inner Resources project, I realized it was not only a beautiful and rare experience, but that anyone can do conservation with the right leadership, training, and passion. Thank you.